My name still remains KUNLE AFOD, alias Omoyanos Entiomesioro Abere Lukuko, which means you must have a reply for every word. If not, you need an injection. So I am the first child in my family of 4 children, and I have 4 boys and a girl. I am happily married. I went to demonstration primary school while growing up, and from there I proceeded to Command Secondary School Jos. After Command Secondary School Jos, I've been doing this and nothing else again. I've been into movie making, and I've been into TV productions, stage productions, radio production. You know what I do, so this is me. While growing up, let me just shed some little light into my background. I stayed with one of my uncle, who is the younger brother of my mom, Mr. Eko. He is now in India. Actually, he studied in India and came back as a teacher to Nigeria. So I stayed with him. He's into art and craft. So I learned that from him. I also draw when I was very young. So he normally take us out for weekend, plays his guitar, sings, we'll do some storyline around that. So, and while in school, I was the only guy in my primary school then that was in the cultural troupe, and so I loved it. So I believe that is what I'll do when I grow up. So when I was in secondary school, I had the opportunity in 1986 to be on a production set called Telefest. It was a national program then. So my school, Command Secondary School, just represented Plateau State. So I was part of the cast. So I grew up to love what I do. So I have practically done all the job as a crew member. I have been a lightman, a sound man, a set designer, set decor. I have been a continuity man. In fact, I was a continuity announcer for so long. From there, gone are the days I would go to the studio, monitor editing. It's only the editor's job that I didn't do. I didn't do the editor's job, but I would sit with them, give them what the shots will be needing. So from there, I worked on stage too as a director. So I know my onions. I know what I want. I'm a good writer. Let me put it that way, because while I was growing up, then I had a group called Dream of Tomorrow. I was still very little, gathered friends around, and we were challenging ourselves on writing scripts, acting, and all this. Then I discovered the only person that normally writes better than I do was my younger sister. So she also writes novels now. So I learned like that. So that is how I became versatile in what I do. I have Ileke running now. Before Ileke was Eka. We had over 120 episodes. Ileke is 40 episodes, and a lot of people are shouting for the season 2. I love TV production while I was a kid, because I was with Aquila Njama, John Njama at a particular time where we do some TV talk show as a young boy then. So I used to love TV. I had a neighbor then when we stayed in Jack on the Estate, Ruka. She moved to America long ago. She was the first person to participate on a TV soap. Then she gone are the days in Nigeria when TV series was number one, the days of Behind the Cloud. I even ran to the location of Behind the Cloud when I was in Jos. So Behind the Cloud, Checkmate. So all this was what I love. So if I didn't go to TV, my mission is still not completed. So I decided to work on some TV series before Ileke. But ever since Ileke was on air, a lot of people, a lot of fans fell in love with it. I will not complete any interview without mentioning my ogas. I trained under a lot of people, so I tapped different currents from different ogas. I studied under Ben Somoloju, Jide Ogungbade, and Jaman Anikulapo, basically for stage production and radio drama. In terms of movie, I trained under Adebayo Salami, Oga Bello, for 8 years. I trained under Yomi Ogumola for some years. I also learned 1 or 2 tricks from Antalaniyo. And at the same time, I worked with Tade Ogidon. So I got some vibes from all of them. So whenever I'm going on any movie set, I always want a storyline that must reflect in the life of people around you. People that, when you're talking of a storyline, when you're working on it, somebody somewhere must say, this thing happened to my friend. This thing happened to my cousin. This thing happened to somebody I know somewhere. If not, we might be just giving them fantasies. But so when I read your script or when I want to write a script, I learned something from Sunday Shoyinka. We call him Papa Tosibe, Korede Films. He told me that any storyline that is a bit different from the usual ones are the storyline that will sell.
Lóòótọ́ ẹ lè máa da ojú àwọn méjì mọ́, àmọ́ ó ní ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kan tí a ṣe sí ọ̀dọ̀ yín. Ìyẹn ló mú wa wá sí ìbàdí ní láti wá tọrọ ìdáríjì ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ nínú.
Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mi ò mọ̀ yín rí, ẹ̀yin àbí sẹ́yìn mọ̀ mí ni.
Bí mi tiẹ̀ mọ̀ yín sójúmọ́, mo ti máa ń gbọ́ nípa yín. Àmọ́ kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa fẹ́ kẹ́ bá wa pé Bímbọ́ síbi torí àárín ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin èmi àti ẹni.
Bímbọ́, ẹ máa bọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lọ.
Ok ma. Èmi àti Bímbọ́ lóòótọ́ ni à ń ṣe wọléwọ̀de nígbà kan sẹ́yìn. So ọ̀rọ̀ kékeré kan wá ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin èmi àti ẹ̀ tó dìjà àti gba ẹni mi ti rí mọ́. Ọ̀sán kan òru kan ló kàn pè mí ló ní òun lóyún. Èmi wá fi dẹ́rù bá pé èmi kọ́ mo lóyún pé kó wá bí gbà lọ. Bó ṣe bínú nìyẹn tó bù mí láṣọ sọ wọn. Ẹni tí mi ò tí ì mọ àwọn ẹbí ẹ̀ tí mi ò máa rá tí àti ìfẹ́ra wa délé tó ń gbúrú wà ẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ló bí mi inú lọ́jọ́ yẹn tí mo fi fún lówó pé ó yá máa bá tiẹ̀ lọ kó lọ yọyún inú ẹ̀ mi ìfẹ́ rí ẹ mọ́. So àti gba ẹ ní mi ò rí mọ́ mo wá rí pé ó dà kó ṣì ń bínú sí mi ni mo ṣe ní kí n wá bí kí n wá bẹ̀ pé mo rẹ̀ mọ̀ bá ti ṣàlàyé fún yín ni mo ṣe ń sọ fẹ́yìn náà pé kẹ́ ẹ bá mi bẹ̀ kẹ́dẹ̀ má bínú sí mi mà.
Àbí wọ́n ní Adéyínká àbí Dádéyínká?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ìwọ ni? Ìwọ ló fún Bímbọ́ lówó. Oyún tó kú tó ní ọlọ́sẹ̀. Ìwọ ni náà? Ayé mi o. Ìwọ lọ pa kẹ́tẹ́kẹ́tẹ́. Ìwọ ni? Ìwọ ni? Ayé ọ̀rẹ́ lọ mọ̀ ní pápá tó fi jáde láyé ìpẹ́. Ìwọ ni? Mo ní ọ̀sẹ̀. Olórí mi ní ọmọ. Tí ìwọ ọ̀tá ní fún rẹ̀. Ẹyin òbí. Wọ́n lè wà.
wo bàbá ọ̀rọ̀ yóò fẹ́ yé mi mọ́ ó ti ń sún mi lọ báyìí níbi tábà dé yìí.
àti ń rọ́nà àbáyọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ náà nù. n tó kù báyìí ni pé ọ lọ síbi ojú orí rẹ̀ ọ wà lórí pàrọwà fún ọ lọ rẹ ronú ń bẹ dáadáa.
sáré ẹ
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
níbi tó ṣe sí.
ọ lọ rẹ túbà ni tó bá dójú orí rẹ̀ ọ wà máa túbà gbogbo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó sọ èyí tó ń rojọ́ fèmí yìí òun ló rojọ́ fún ẹni abáṣẹ̀ làbẹ́ má bínú o kó wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o ìwọ náà rí mi táǹgbà náà lọ́hùn o ti kú ní ìsìn odò kú ọ̀run o ó máa rojọ́ ó máa bẹ̀ ó máa dìmọ́ kẹ́ni sàárè rẹ̀ báyìí tó máa gbọ́ bu àtọ́ bí ìgbà tó ń pọ́n alágídí ni.
bàbá mi ò mọ ibi tó ṣe sí.
èyí ò lè mọ̀ ṣé bó ti mọ ibi ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ìyá rẹ̀ bákan ló ṣe débẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi sọ fún ọ pé ó ti kú àwọn tó mọ̀ pé ó kú wọ́n mú ojú orí rẹ̀.
kí n padà lọ lé wọn yẹn.
wọ́n padà lọ ni.
níbi tó ti gé mi jẹ. kí lọ sọ pé
àfaradà tó nìyẹn nù.
bàbá yẹn lè ó lè.
ọ padà lọ ni o.
So whenever I want to go into writing my script, it has to be different, and it has to be something that somebody must know about. So I go as far as, okay, let me try and chip in an idea. In the Yoruba realm here, we believe that when the king dies, the Arole, as in the first male child, will become the king in some areas. If the Arole is twin, what will happen? So like that, I will get some conflict into the storyline. I will get a lot to now discuss about. That is how I come about my own storyline. When I was doing my first production that came out, which the title is Koya, Yomi Ogunmola was the director then. I remember that the money I used to do the screenplay then was even more than half of the money we used to produce the movie then. You know, he was on set, and one of the actors on set, Iyabo Yoyo, she's late too. Yomi Ogunmola, to his blessed memory too, is late. So he forced us then to use Iyabo Yoyo on that production. Well, it's a plus for us for the production because I and some of my friends collaborated to produce that movie then. So we had Yarimbo on set. Then, before the production, I and my friends went to K2 to get some foodstuffs, rice, yam, beans, a lot, so that for the shoot period, there will be food and all sorts. So that morning, we did yam and stew. So the welfare person took the food to Yarimbo, and Iyabo Yoyo collected the food and poured it on my head. Said, why are you giving Mama yam? Everybody yam. Everybody. I cried. It was so painful. She now came to meet me that she did it intentionally so that Mama will be able to stay and work, because she was already complaining that she wants to leave, that the day they gave her had passed and this and that. So, well, it's part of it. Nobody will come and pour yam on my head now. For what? You know, that is why I said it's a training process. We are learning. And, you know, when I worked in the States, it was a bit difficult. I did 2 productions. The first time I went, I did a production. Sorry to say this, the technical guy they gave me was not to my standard. He had his own standard, but I know what I wanted, but he was not giving me what I wanted. So practically, I was the set man on that set, the light man on that set, the cameraman on that set, the actor on that set, the continuity man on that same set. I did practically everything. Just had to beg some people, maybe if I come to use their house, please help me hold this boom mic, you know, because the money I had then was not enough to get professionals. I no go lie, you understand? So I had to do it my own way. But the second production, I met some professionals and we did a professional job, which was American Wife. Thank God the fans, my audience, they loved it. So don't worry, I'll be coming to London to do something wonderful. Wonderful. I promise you. I don't know London story now. I go shoot London story, you now go like her. Yes, sir.